Too many people waste their energy looking sideways, comparing themselves to their friends, their coworkers, or the people on social media who seem to have it all figured out. They obsess over who's ahead, who's behind, who has more success, more money, more recognition. But the truth is, none of that matters. Because the only real competition you will ever face is you. The person you were yesterday. The person you are today. The person you have the potential to become. That is the only battle that matters. We live in a world where it's easy to compare ourselves to others. Social media makes it look like everyone is winning. Like success is effortless. Like happiness is a permanent state. You see people traveling the world, building businesses, hitting personal milestones, and you start to wonder, why am I not there yet? What am I doing wrong? Why does it seem so easy for them? But let me tell you something. You're only seeing the highlight reel. You don't see the failures, the setbacks, the doubts, the sleepless nights. You don't see the moments when they wanted to quit. And even if someone else is winning, their success has nothing to do with your potential. Too many people waste time looking sideways instead of moving forward. They focus on who's ahead, who's behind, who's winning, who's losing. But comparison is a distraction. It pulls you away from your own path. It blinds you to your own progress. It makes you feel like you're losing when in reality, you're just running a different race. The question isn't, am I better than them? The real question is, am I better than I was yesterday? The choice you make every day. Every single morning, you wake up with a choice. You can either repeat the same patterns, make the same excuses, and stay in the same place, or push yourself forward, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's hard. Most people stay in their comfort zone because growth is uncomfortable. It requires change, discipline, and persistence. It demands that you face your fears and break old habits. But here's the truth. Growth doesn't happen in a single moment. Success isn't a sudden leap. Transformation isn't instant. It's built in the small daily choices you make. Do you hit snooze, or do you wake up and chase your goals? Do you complain about life, or do you take action to change it? Do you settle for good enough, or do you push for something greater? Nobody is coming to hand you success. Nobody is going to do the work for you. If you want to be stronger, smarter, faster, more disciplined, more successful, it has to start with you. And the only way to get there? Compete with your past self. Overcoming the past version of you. Your biggest challenge isn't the person next to you. It's the version of yourself that makes excuses, procrastinates, doubts their own abilities, stays in the safety of the familiar. That version of you will always try to hold you back. It will tell you, this is too hard. Maybe this isn't for me. I'm not ready yet. But greatness is never built in the comfort zone. It's built when you outwork your past self, when you challenge your own limits, when you prove to yourself that you are capable of more. So every day, ask yourself, am I better than I was yesterday? Am I putting in the effort? Am I growing, even in the smallest way? Because the truth is, nobody can stop you but you. Success isn't about talent. It isn't about luck. It's about discipline. It's about mindset. It's about how badly you want it. The mindset of champions, the greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, the legends in any field. They don't wake up focused on beating someone else. They wake up determined to beat their own records, to push beyond their last achievement, to set the bar higher, and then reach for it. They are their own competition. So forget about what everyone else is doing. Forget about their wins, their progress, and their opinions. This is your life, your race, your mission, and the only person standing between you and the next level? Take action. Stop talking, start doing. Words are cheap. Anyone can say they want success. Anyone can talk about how they're going to change, how they're going to achieve something great. But how many actually follow through? How many people truly commit to doing the work? The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is simple: action. Too many people get stuck in a cycle of talking about their goals. They make big plans, they tell everyone about their vision, but when it's time to execute, they hesitate. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect feeling, and that's where they lose. Because the truth is, the perfect time will never come. Execution over excuses. Success doesn't come from wishing, talking, even motivation. Motivation fades. It's easy to feel inspired for a day, a week, maybe even a month. But what happens when that motivation runs out? That's where most people quit. Real progress happens when you take consistent, intentional action. even when you don't feel like it, even when it's inconvenient, even when nobody is watching. There are people out there who are less talented than you, less educated than you, less skilled than you, but they are ahead. Why? Because they took action. They didn't overthink. They didn't let fear stop them. They didn't wait for someone to tell them it was okay to start. They just did it. And that's what separates the winners from the ones still making excuses. Stop waiting, just start. You don't need to have all the answers to take the first step. You don't need everything to be perfectly aligned before you begin. You just need to move. Progress is made through action, learning as you go, failing and adjusting. Doing, not just thinking. The greatest ideas in the world mean nothing if they stay in your head. The most detailed plans won't change your life if they stay on paper. So ask yourself, are you just talking or are you proving? Are you spending more time telling people what you're going to do than actually doing it? Are you waiting for inspiration or are you making things happen regardless of how you feel? Because that's what it comes down to. You have to stop waiting, stop overanalyzing, stop doubting, stop looking for shortcuts. There is no magic formula, no secret strategy, no overnight success. Every single person who has ever achieved greatness had a moment where they had to make a choice. Keep talking or start doing. Keep planning or take action. Keep making excuses or prove themselves through effort. They had to take a leap. They had to trust themselves enough to take action even when they weren't ready. You have that same choice right now. So what's it going to be? Will you stay in the comfort of talking, planning, and wishing? Or will you prove it by stepping up, taking action, and making things happen? Because the answer isn't in what you say, it's in what you do next. Embrace the struggle, discipline over motivation. The road to success is not easy, and it's not supposed to be. Too many people want the reward without the work, the victory without the battle, the success without the sacrifice. But that's not how life works. Struggle is not an obstacle, it's a requirement. It's the very thing that shapes you, strengthens you, and separates you from the ones who quit too soon. Most people run from struggle. The moment things get hard, they back down, complain, make excuses, convince themselves that maybe it's not meant to be. But the ones who succeed, they lean into the struggle. They don't see difficulty as a reason to stop. They see it as proof that they're growing. Because every great success story is built on challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Struggle builds strength. Think about the most successful, strongest people in the world. Do you think they had an easy journey? Do you think they woke up one day at the top without ever facing hardship? No, they went through failure, rejection, pain, doubt, just like everyone else. The difference? They didn't let it break them. They used it to build themselves. The struggle is where you find out what you're really made of. It's easy to be confident when everything is going well, when the path is smooth, when results are coming fast. But what happens when things get hard? What happens when you hit a setback? When you don't see results right away? When life knocks you down? That's when true character is revealed. Do you give up? Or do you get back up? Do you let the challenge defeat you? Or do you rise above it? Pain is temporary, but what you gain from it lasts forever. Every challenge you overcome makes you stronger, smarter, more resilient. Every failure teaches you something that success never could. The struggle is not there to stop you. It's there to prepare you, to test you, to see if you really want it as bad as you say you do. So instead of fearing the struggle, embrace it. When things get tough, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because every challenge carries a lesson. Every difficulty is shaping you into the person you need to become. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is great. It's exciting. It makes you feel unstoppable. But motivation is temporary. Some days, you wake up feeling inspired, ready to take on the world. Other days, you don't feel like doing anything at all. That's where most people fail. They rely on motivation to push them forward. But the moment it fades, they stop showing up. That's why discipline matters more than motivation. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation is gone. It's what separates the people who achieve their goals from the ones who quit too soon. The ones who talk from the ones who do. Anybody can put in work when they feel like it. Anybody can chase their dreams when they're excited. But what about the days when you don't feel like showing up? What about the mornings when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you're doubting yourself? That's when discipline takes over. The most successful people in the world are not the most motivated. They are the most disciplined. They do what needs to be done no matter how they feel. They don't make excuses. They don't wait until they're in the mood. They show up day after day because they understand that consistency is the key to greatness. The power of daily habits. Most people let their emotions control their actions. If they don't feel like working, they don't work. If they don't feel like training, they skip it. If they don't feel like pushing themselves, they take the easy way out. But discipline is about doing what's necessary, even when you don't want to. It's about sticking to your plan, following through on your commitments, refusing to let temporary feelings dictate your future. Think about an athlete training for a championship. Do you think they wake up every single day feeling motivated? No, but they train anyway. They push through exhaustion, pain, and doubt because they know that's what it takes to win. The same principle applies to anything in life. Whether you want to build a business, get in shape, master a skill, achieve a personal goal, you have to be disciplined. You have to commit to the process, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when you don't see immediate results. Motivation is the spark, but discipline is the engine. The people who succeed are the ones who stop depending on motivation and start depending on their habits. They wake up and do the work, no matter what. Hold themselves accountable, even when nobody's watching. Understand that real progress isn't made in one big moment of inspiration. It's made in the countless small moments of discipline. At the end of the day, you can't control when you feel motivated, but you can control your discipline. And when motivation fades, as it always does, discipline will be the thing that keeps you moving forward. Prove it to yourself. You don't need to prove anything to anyone else. Not your friends, not your family, not society. The only person you need to prove it to is yourself. Too many people spend their lives chasing validation, try to impress others, looking for approval. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. The only person who truly knows what you're capable of is you. And the only person you should be competing with is the version of yourself from yesterday. People will doubt you. They'll tell you it's impossible. They'll question your dreams, your abilities, and your decisions. But their doubts don't define you. What defines you is how you respond. Do you let their words shake you? Do you let their opinions hold you back? Or do you use it as fuel to push harder, to go further, to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than they ever imagined? Success isn't about showing off. It's not about proving to the world that you made it. It's about proving to yourself that you have the discipline, resilience, and determination to push through every obstacle. Most people quit because they seek instant validation. They want results now. They want applause now. They want recognition now. But real success takes time, patience, consistency. Because the moment you start relying on external validation, you hand over control of your success to others. You have to be your own motivation. You have to wake up and remind yourself why you started. Because once you prove it to yourself, nothing and no one can take that away from you. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Start proving it. Because everything you want is already within you. Now go make it happen.